Hi, I'm Zebarsis, and this is the 18th episode of The Teaching of Isaac. This series is officially old enough to vote in the United States. Yay. So, the character, as you may expect since I'm highlighting him after all, is Azazel. Okay, we're starting off with Basement XL, so we know there's 2 treasure rooms, there's 2 bosses, 1 secret room, 1 super secret room, 1 shop, and 1 devil room / angel room as well. Now, something about Azazel. In the previous video that I was Azazel, some people were a little confused as to how to properly play with him. He's a very powerful character as long as you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, then you're going to bump into all your enemies and get yourself killed. So, the very first attack you do in each room, it's probably the most important. Your very first brimstone is an opportunity for you to clear out as many enemies as possible on that very first hit. Because afterwards, it's going to take a few seconds before you can charge up your second brimstone. So try to make your first brimstone count. Don't get reckless, but make sure you deal as much damage as you can, especially on the first brimstone when you enter the room. And speaking of which, always have it charged up and ready to go before you walk into the next room. And for exploding enemies like that, just make sure you keep your distance. You can either slowly walk into them while your brimstone is going, or if they're an enemy that chases you, you can walk backwards or hold still and let them walk into you. Or specifically, the brimstone is what I'm referring to. Well, that's really interesting. So that's anti-gravity pills, not pills, tears. And it's kind of a risk versus reward item. The reward is it really reduces your tear rate. In fact, it's one of the items that allows you to go beyond the threshold of how fast your tears can go. Now with Azazel, it's a very weird item. I'm just going to take it just to show you. I probably would skip this with Azazel normally, but here's how it works. So you use it, and it creates a little portal there, and it shoots the brimstone afterwards. I think they can walk into that portal portion and get damaged, but it makes it harder to control where you hit your enemies, because by the time you release it, the enemy may have walked away. There's Curse of the Tower. This is something I will not take for demonstrative purposes. It's too deadly. You get damaged and you drop a bunch of troll bombs. But it's a bit too risky, and it prevents you from being able to use something like the blood donation machine. Because if you stab yourself, then it's going to drop a bunch of troll bombs, and it's going to destroy all the machinery. Yeah, you see this? You see how much longer it's taking me just to kill this poop? This is why I normally skip it. But I figured this would be a good opportunity to show you what not to do. Azazel is also, in my opinion, the best character to use when it comes to trying to get to the boss rush, since he already starts with flight, and his brimstone can clear rooms very quickly. But as you can see, it's not really brimstone, it's like a mini version of it. So first up is Ragman, one of the harder basement bosses, and you see here, you see why I kind of wish I didn't take this, but you reap what you sow, I guess. I knew this was coming, so I'm going to have to stick with it. It's not really worth the tears up. Okay, at least the portal portion, when it doesn't shoot, still damages your foe. Now, I have a 100% chance of a devil room if I go in the next boss. I want to see if I can get an HP up before I do that. Because if I lose 3 Dark Hearts / Soul Hearts to the boss, or to the Devil Room, I'm going to have pretty much nothing left. And for those that don't know, once you go into Devil Room, if you try to leave and come back, most of the time the door will be gone. So you want to make sure that you're ready before you go ahead and fight a boss when you have a Devil Room chance. or Angel Room chance, same thing. Now, Azazel starts with the Fool card. I generally save that for a Cursed Room, so that way I don't have to get damaged as I fly out of it. So even with the anti-gravity pill, I keep saying pills, but I meant to say tears. Regardless, the anti-gravity tears, it's nice to have the tears up, but yeah, not really worth it in the end. It's sometimes worth it on other characters, but it still makes it a little bit more challenging to hit your enemies sometimes. Yeah, it may be a little bit overkill, but I'm still going to take out all these flames. I feel like my chances of reaching the boss rush are gone pretty much now that I can't aim as well as I want to with Brimstone, or the mini Brimstone. So I'm kind of taking a little bit extra time to destroy some of these destructibles and maybe get some goodies. So Infestation, when you get damaged, you spawn some flies. It also contributes to the Beelzebub transformation. If you grab 3 fly items, you transform into Beelzebub, and any neutral flies get converted into blue flies, I believe. And yeah, flight. Alright, so this is probably a super secret room. It's hard to find the secret rooms on an XL floor, especially the first floor, since they kind of break the rules on where super secret rooms and secret rooms are. But super secret rooms are almost always towards the end, and it's attached to only one room. Alright, no HP up for me, but I did get a bunch of soul hearts, so this might help a little bit. We'll see what happens. How nice of him to hold still. This is only good for the speed up. It gives you shot speed as well, but that's irrelevant when it comes to any form of Brimstone. Okay, so Spirit of the Night is practically useless for me because it gives you Flight, which I already have, and it gives you Spectral Tears, which I already have. Any form of Brimstone already has Spectral. The only thing that helps me with that is it's 1/3 of the way to the transformation to the Leviathan, which grants you Flight and a bunch of Dark Hearts. That's all it does. Well, it also increases your Devil Deal chance. But this guy right here, Dark Bum, is one of the Devil Deals I almost always take. I almost never skip him. Unless I can't afford him, because he will pay back. Now, don't get cocky, though. He sometimes will drop a regular spider on your face, so keep your distance as he reclaims a heart. Yeah, it's unfortunate I have to wait now before my attack actually lands. And it also kind of negates what I mentioned earlier about making your first Brimstone count. So now you gotta wait a few seconds before you deal some extra damage. But it is what it is. It's not the worst thing. I knew the risks, and I'll be okay. The Hermit's the same thing as the Fool pretty much because it teleports you out of the room you're in, but the Hermit takes you straight to the shop. It's a way of saving yourself a key. Speaking of keys, I don't want to go in there and use those yet. I want to make sure I have enough keys to get to the treasure room next level. So if I find one extra key, I might go for it. Now, one of the only things I like about the XL floors is the next level. Usually you have a higher chance of a devil room / angel room. So it's 67.5. Normally when you reach the caves or catacombs 1, you have a 36% chance, which is pretty low. I don't know why it's added up that way, but it is. Now this room, it might only spawn hearts, so I want to make sure that when the Dark Bum grabs these hearts that I leave the room. That way it's guaranteed to spawn as soul hearts. So let's, just for demonstrative purposes, let's see what happens. Let's see if he does spawn dark hearts or soul hearts in this room or just a regular heart. Okay, this is not the room I was referring to then. The secret room, or rather the super secret room I'm referring to, has a bunch of individual red hearts. If you see a super secret room with a bunch of individual red hearts, walk the Dark Bum around, let him grab them all. Do not get close to him. You don't want him to spawn any hearts. And then once he's gathered them all, stay away, but walk out of the room. Then he'll drop all the hearts here instead of in the super secret room. When he drops them in the super secret room, if it has all the red individual hearts, he'll just spawn red hearts, ironically enough. So he'll just keep spawning them until he spawns nothing else, and then you end up losing all the value of those red hearts, which could have been soul hearts. Alright, so still on the quest for an HP up. That way, if there is another devil item, then I'll be able to spend 1 regular red heart instead of 3 soul hearts, which is a little bit costly at the moment. That's almost half my health. And don't be afraid to get close to those greed enemies, since they do shoot in both directions around you. Wow, it's really hard to destroy these poops. Forget it, I'm going to move on. Oh, there's a coin. But yeah, you can stand in the middle of them. Just be careful, because they might bounce into you. Sucks to be you guys. Now, I've said this a lot, but the caves, in my opinion, it's harder than the depths. Since the caves, there's a lot of monsters in a small amount of space, and there's usually a lot of pits in the area. So that's where Azazel shines as well. Oh my gosh, come on. This is going to take forever. I gotta get lucky and hope he bumps into it. There we go. Okay, this is good. The host hat occasionally will deflect your shot and shoot it back at your foe. Or shoot at your foe. He's not going to shoot the same bullet back to your foe, but he'll shoot his own set of bullets towards the foe and it'll negate the shot. The other thing about the host hat is any explosion will deal 0 damage to me. That's very, very powerful.
The Hermit.
So this is on sale and it's going to add up. So I'm going to take the fanny pack. Every time I'm hurt, I will drop something. Well, I have a chance of dropping something of value, like a key, maybe even a soul heart if I'm lucky. So it's pretty good, especially if it's on sale. At least these guys will run into my brimstone portal there. So this is Bob's bladder. When you drop a bomb, it'll create a little pool of green goop, and that will damage foes. It's okay. I still have not found the secret room, Now, the problem though is I have no bombs anyway. It's not like I could find out. I'm also lacking the extra key I was hoping to get. So I'm just going to... I'm going to skip this and move on. Peep. This will be a pretty decent boss for me to fight with Azazel and this weird brimstone, since he doesn't move around too much. He mostly just hops. In fact, he's even walking into a little portal I created. Alright, there's the Devil Deal. This will give me shot speed and damage. It's a nice item. Don't care about the shot speed, obviously, but the damage boost is sweet. Here we go. Hi, Krampus. Krampus is more likely to appear once you've taken a Devil Deal. It is still possible that he can appear on the very first Devil Room. It's just extremely unlikely. But I think after you take a Devil Deal, I'm not 100% sure about this, but once you've taken a Devil Deal, I believe there's a 50% chance every time from that point on that Krampus will spawn. By the way, the head of Krampus is a fantastic item. It shoots brimstone in 4 different directions. It's a major boss killer. So, I only recommend, well, not only, I usually recommend using pills at the end of the level in case the Mischief Pill gives you either Curse of the Maze or it gives you Amnesia, since it makes it hard to navigate. This is where I think the secret room is. Just because of the layout. The north section's blocked off. We know there can't be a secret room there. I know I could fly to it, but the game's designed to not put a secret room attached to a inaccessible pathway like this. So it's likely to be here. I'm hoping for either Horf or Explosive Diarrhea. Now, I'm not afraid of an explosion because I have the host hat, so I'm just going to use it against the wall and see what happens. Range down. Not what I was hoping for. So say goodbye to the Fool and hello to the Empress. I'm going to save that for a nastier boss. Oh, wait a minute. I have an extra key. I don't know how that happened. Maybe I got damaged earlier. Either way, what I'm referring to by damage is maybe it dropped a key. I have no recollection of it. Doesn't matter though, I got it. So I'm going to take care of this arena here. And that was pretty disappointing. I was hoping to get some sort of pickup out of there, especially since I have 0 bombs. And you know how much I love fighting these worms when I can't really shoot them in time. Okay, that's the way to do it. I need to attack them right when they pop out. Fortunately, it's risky though. But my infestation spawned a fly and that took care of it. Well, with this, I can reveal where the secret room is. I plan on taking the Empress with me. So let's just see for scientific purposes, I guess.
The sun.
Looks like I was right. There's the secret room. So if I had a bomb, that's where I'd go. And you know what? There's a shop there. I'm going to double check and see if they have a bomb and just blow my way through there. Especially if I know exactly where the secret room is. But I don't recall if they're selling a bomb or not. In fact, they're not. I could gamble and start throwing money into this machine. But it could sometimes take like 7 coins to re-roll the shop. And then spend 5 coins on a bomb. I mean, I can't even do that. So I'm going to cut my losses and simply move on. By the way, that Hanged Man card from earlier, it grants you flight for the 1 room. Obviously not helpful for me. Before you go into a cursed room, if you have the option, you want to wait till you have a bomb. Because there's sometimes a stone chest in there. Or alternatively, there might be several blue flames. And for those of you that don't know, blue flames, when you destroy them, have a chance of spawning a soul heart. Now we're talking. So gold bombs give you infinite bombs. I do believe you have to unlock golden bombs though. So I definitely recommend doing that as soon as you can. I don't remember the criteria, but obviously it's very powerful. Okay, I'm going to use these pills a little bit later on. Like I say, I like to save it for the end. Oh, and also, so here's the host hat in action. Bombs do not hurt me. I said bombs do not hurt me. Great. Scatter bombs are kind of dangerous, and normally they're dangerous because they split into multiple directions once they explode, and it's easy to forget about it and then suddenly blow yourself up. But thanks to the host hat, I can officially get reckless. This would be a very powerful combination if I found something like Dr. Fetus, where you shoot bombs all the time. That would mean that I could shoot recklessly as much as I want and not have to fear. So before you enter any boss arena, if you're on the caves level 1 or caves level 2, alternatively the catacombs, or any alternate floor, you have to assume that there's a chance you'll have to fight the champion version of Mega Maw and the champion version of Mega Fatty, which is the most lethal combination in this game in my opinion, because the champion version of those guys, they do a full heart of damage. They're also hard to dodge, which just makes it even more challenging. So I would like to use the blood donation machine, however, unfortunately I have no heart containers, so it's going to get rid of precious soul hearts and dark hearts. Now I'm tempted to blow them up, but things change really quickly in this game. You're better off blowing up things afterwards. Now the exception to that rule is if there's a beggar. The beggars, if you blow them up, increase your chance of an angel room or a devil room. So if you know that you don't have much money or you don't care for what the beggar might give you and you just want a higher chance at a devil room, blow that beggar up, save yourself the money, and it'll increase the chances of getting a devil room. Now, if I didn't have the anti-gravity item, they would have been dead like 10 seconds ago. It looks cool, but it's just not worth it. Maybe there's some cool synergy with it, I don't know. I haven't really found anything that helpful with anti-gravity, at least with Azazel. Turns out one of those pennies was a lucky penny. By the way, this is a mimic. You can tell because right next to where the lock opening is, it's like a black square. To the left and right of that are two white or gray portions, like gray squares. That's how you can kind of tell. Plus the chest is darker. It's hard to tell because of Curse of Darkness. But if you really want to be sure, just get a little close and the spikes deploy. Now make sure if you have a golden bomb that you really capitalize on it. Blow up every mushroom you see. If you see skulls, blow those up. If you think there's a secret room there, blow it up. And there's also a dead shopkeeper here. Blow him up as well. Get a little bit of a devil deal chance. It's a small amount. Does help, but not quite as much as blowing up a regular beggar. This is nasty. I still want to save my head of Krampus for the boss, though. By the way, this trap room right here, what I just did is the best option. Just make a beeline for the button. Now, if your speed is not that quick, they might start shooting by the time you reach this point. So if you must, just run and then stop right here. Wait for the bullets to pass. Do it again, hit the button. Most trap rooms, as long as you have a decent amount of speed, you can usually hit the button way before things start getting chaotic. This is the stud finder. This will locate you to where the crawl space is, assuming there is a crawl space on the level. It'll make the rock suddenly flash. I believe, well, maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe, see, there's a shiny rock. What a shiny rock does is it reveals the crawl space or a tinted rock. What I believe the stud finder actually does is when you blow up, well, you're more likely to find a crawl space. That's what I think it does. There's a lot of trinkets in this game, so it's easy to get mixed up. My least favorite super secret room. Now I chose not to drop any bombs there. I wanted to use those rocks for cover. Because greed shoots so quickly, and you have to kind of preemptively be out of the way. Okay, there is the treasure room. Let's see what we get. I'm not going to use the 2 of clubs yet. It doubles your bombs, but maybe the item in here is also a bomb type item, which will give me more bombs, and therefore 2 of clubs will be more effective. So normally, I despise this item. So Bob's brain explodes on your foes, but it can also blow up on you. Now, if I was a psychic, I would have taken Curse of the Tower early on, because that means if I get damaged, a bunch of bombs drop, and the bombs won't hurt me because of the host hat. Now, Bob's brain, though, I finally get to use it without any repercussions. The reason why it's so dangerous is right when you walk in the room, well, not right when you walk in the room, but shortly after you walk in the room, if you're holding the attack button, which you usually are, Bob's brain will shoot out. And if there's an enemy in front of you, it'll hit it, and it'll blow up and hurt you too. Okay, I'm going to take the 2 of clubs, just use that really quickly. I have no reason to use the world right now. I don't really have a reason to use the Empress either, just because of the fact that I'm going to be decimating the bosses instantly. That's usually what I save the Empress for, to help me with that. But now there's no reason to, because they're going to be going poof pretty soon. That Gertie holds still. I don't even need to use the head of Krampus here. So the strategy for Gertie right here is to keep moving to either the left, bottom, or right. Every few seconds, she will either spawn enemies or she'll attack. Assume she's going to attack, so start here or here or here, and then once you know the attack's about to come, or the summon, move to the next wall. Wait a few seconds, move to the next wall. Just keep doing that until she's dead. Pretty useless for me. I don't need shot speed, as I've discussed earlier. There's a golden heart. You have to unlock that as well, but if I lose the golden heart, then a bunch of coins will spawn. Like a consolation prize for getting hit too much. Alright, let's pop some pills. Oh no! Nothing to worry about. I'm gonna use all these mystery pills now. Okay, now we're talking. Wow, this is great. So I know there's another one of these white pills on the field. So I'm going to get yet another health up. Oh, health down. Okay. Let me explain how that works. This is the same pill. It's a health down. If you have either 0 heart containers or 1 heart container, if you use a health up pill, or if you use this pill, it's always going to be a health up. If you have 2 or beyond, which is where I'm at right now, it'll turn into a health down pill. That's just a way of kind of making health down pills not totally get rid of your last heart container. And obviously if you had no heart containers at all, it would do literally nothing. But either way, health down pills can be a benefit as long as you use them properly and know they're coming.
Range up.
Infested.
Infested with an exclamation mark, all that does is it spawns spiders, and the more poop that's in the room, the more spiders that will spawn. So I gained a full health pill, so I'm going to go ahead and capitalize on this blood donation machine now. And there goes my heart. And I have a lot of money. Now I know the shop has greed, so unfortunately I can't go and visit that and buy things. I'm a little tempted to use these machines. However, there's some more shops coming up, and maybe I'll get something better out of the shops. So I'd rather buy something that's guaranteed to be good instead of gambling if I have a choice.
One makes you small.
And one makes you small, just does exactly as you think. So out of all these, I'm actually going to hang on to the health down pill. If I get a devil deal and I lose a heart to it, if I use the health down pill, it'll convert into a health up pill. It's like a free devil item. Alright, I'm going straight for the curse room because I have bombs. And normally that wouldn't be worth it, but I got a soul heart out of the deal. By the way, when you have flight, you can walk into a curse room and take no damage, but when you walk out, you take damage. I don't know why, it's just the way it is. Great start, got the golden key. Could have also blown up those purple flames and get a chance at a soul heart as well. I think the secret room's here just based upon the layout. Left side we know is blocked off due to these rocks, so it can't be on the left side. And obviously it can't be here because there's already doors there. So it's probably here is my guess. Alright, it sure is looking like it. But I want to confirm it before I go ahead and move on. So let's take a look. Yeah, this has to be it. Same thing. South is blocked off because of spikes. And there's doors on both sides. There's a little pathway here. It's pretty much like asking me to blow up the wall. I don't know how that tier got me. I was right in here. It must have tucked in between this little crack and hit me at an angle. Either way, I'm rich. Now, I don't want to take the quarter because 99 cents is the most you can hold. I have 79. So I'm going to lose out on some money if I take this now. So hold off on that. Plus, if you end up getting even more money in the level that you can't spend for some reason, then you might find an item that could re-roll that potentially. Like a cracked dice shard. Or rather a dice piece. I think that's what it's called. Or maybe something like a Perthrow rune. Okay, let's let's go ahead and use the sun here. Okay, now I know what to expect. I'm just going to clear the rest of these rooms before I move on. Now, I've been a little bit too conservative on using the head of Krampus. In fact, I don't think I've used it a single time. Didn't even use it on Gertie that I was fighting earlier. So, I would use it more than me. I'm just not using it because I'm confident in my ability here. But you should be utilizing it because it could have recharged like 3 or 4 times by now. So I'm kind of wasting it. At the same time though, if you know you're not going to get damaged, you don't necessarily want to waste it too much because you want to save it for a time when you really need it occasionally. But either way, if you think you can dodge all the hits, save it. If you're not feeling comfortable or you run into a room with a bunch of enemies, just go ahead and use it if it's not right before the boss. The Bob's brain would have totally wrecked my face right there. I never recommend Bob's brain unless you have some sort of protection. Either some mass quantity of health that you're able to regenerate, or something that makes you immune to explosions. But even if I have something like the Satanic Bible, which gives you a dark heart every 6 charges, I still don't take it. Especially since it could do a full heart of damage to you from the explosion. Come on. Come on. Thank you. By the way, the Algiz rune gives you immortality for a pretty long time. It feels like 30 seconds. I don't know the exact time on it, but that's how long it feels. So normally, this would be a very difficult room to overcome and grab those items. In fact, it's too risky in my opinion if you don't have flight. What you'd have to do is wait for him to stop sucking in, position yourself, and then immediately grab the item in the corner, go back, and get out. Now, I have to take longer to do that without risking hitting these spikes. So let me explain what the better solution is if you must get the items that are there. Maybe it's something really good, or maybe you want that soul heart. So wait for him to stop sucking in. Drop a bomb, push it, and then the soul heart will come flying out and you can grab it more safely. Now that won't work very well if it's a treasure chest, since treasure chests don't move very far when they're bombed, but for smaller pickups it works really well. Now rooms like this, unfortunately a big part of it is dependent on your speed. If you have a low speed, sometimes there's no choice, you must get hit. If you have flight, obviously do what I'm doing and take advantage of it. In fact, you can reach over to the second button and just hit it without even going around. Just remember though, that blue spike there will move if you are in line of sight. So you gotta hit that button really quickly. Now I know there's no secret rooms here, so I have no reason to push this into a wall and then bomb in hopes of getting a secret room, because I've already found it. But if you don't know where the secret room is, you want to push the stone chest to one of the exposed walls and then drop the bomb on it. That way there's a chance that maybe your bomb will also reveal a secret room. Now normally I'd use the stars to teleport to the treasure room and then save myself a key. But I got a golden key. No need to do that. So, Shadow Judas, or Judas' Shadow. I used this in one of my earlier episodes. The best way to use him is to murder yourself ahead of time while there's a bunch of soul hearts on the field. That way when you resurrect as Shadow Judas and you've exhausted all your hearts to kill yourself on purpose, you can grab them you can grab the ones that are left on the level. Now, I'm all gung-ho and I really want to kill myself. I know that sounds wrong, but I usually want to resurrect as Judas' Shadow. But the thing is, I'm going to lose my flight, and I'm going to lose my little brimstone beam. I'll gain a lot of damage in the process, but for that reason, and due to the fact that I already have so many hearts, and there's nothing left on this level, it's going to be too risky for me to resurrect as Judas's shadow right now. So I'm going to have to pass on this for now. Thank goodness, a shop. But I'm not too thrilled with the contents of the shop. I will take Mom's box though, and there's a chance maybe I'll get a trinket I might be able to use. No. Push pin makes your tears piercing every so often, but it does literally nothing when you have a brimstone or mini brimstone. And this is the dull razor. The dull razor is helpful if you have some type of ability that triggers when you get damaged. The dull razor pretends to cut yourself, but it actually deals no damage. But it'll trigger any items that gain effects when you're damaged. So it's a way of triggering those without hurting yourself for real. I got 22 bombs. I'm going to blow up this shopkeeper here. I got to be careful though, because the scatter bombs might blow up the donation machine. So I'm going to go as far to the right as possible. And just like that, I didn't have to risk blowing up the donation machine doing that. Oh yeah, there is a battery here. Let me see if I can get another trinket. Alright, I'll take it. Ace of Spades makes cards drop more often. It's better than what I got. There is still one more battery that I left behind though. So I'm going to... Well, I'm hesitating because I still have one more room to look for, which is the super secret room. So let me take care of that really quickly, and then I'll make my decision on what to do next. Now I got 21 bombs. That's plenty for me to just guess where the super secret room is. And it's probably here. The reason why? This is blocked off by a pit. Super secret rooms are usually towards the end. So work your way backwards from the boss. And this would be the next eligible super secret room, because this would only be attached to one room. Usually I attack and leave the room, but I have to wait for the brimstone to go off. And I do that because these orange flames will shoot tears at you. It's a little dangerous. Like I said. Alright, push these stone chests up against the TNT barrels. Normally back up, but I don't care. I got the host hat. And there's one bonus soul heart in case I need it. Alright, well, I don't think I'm going to get a rerolling item now. Right, I wanted to go and get the other battery. One more chance to get into a really good trinket. What I'm aiming for is something like the Broken Crown or the Curved Horn. Maybe even Cancer. Those three trinkets, in my opinion, are the best trinkets in the game because they really boost your stats. Particularly the helpful stats. Not helpful. The more angel items you have, the more damage you deal. Even if you have a bunch of angel items, the damage is very minimal. Okay, now we're talking. Fortunately, Samson's lock is based upon luck a little bit. Every time you kill a foe, there's a slight chance that your damage will be raised for the remainder of the room. If you're not lucky though, then sometimes it just, for the longest time, does nothing. And bombs are key. I have swapped my keys and bombs. Kind of mixed about that. I had 8 keys, which is quite a lot. That's usually, you really don't need much more than that for the most part, unless you find a key beggar.
Lemon.
But I couldn't really control it anyway. I didn't know what pill it was, so it is what it is. Time to get out of here. Let's go take care of the boss. And did I leave a key behind, or is that a golden key? Right, I guess I didn't really mention. Golden keys don't actually boost your key amount. It just makes you have infinite keys for the room. Or for the floor. So look, I have 23 keys. Now I still have 23 keys. in case any of you were screaming at your television or computer monitor wondering why I ignored that. Last thing I'm going to do is go back and grab the head of Krampus. I'm going to check out, see what this card is, by the way, since I'm rich. It's death. It's alright. It's good to clear out when a room that has a bunch of little enemies. I'll just use it for the boss, and I'll go back for the alges. The Fallen. He's a pretty hard boss to deal with. Unless you have this. Now, unfortunately, this is a great item. This is one of the best Devil Room items. The Fallen will spawn a Devil item even though you're not technically in the Devil Room. That's what's unique about him. Problem is, this is the Eye of Belial. And it's based upon piercing tears. Now, remember earlier I mentioned that Brimstone gets no benefit from piercing tears. So it doesn't even stack. I don't think it's going to even do anything for me. I did get a slight range up though, so it's not necessarily a negative thing, but it's of very little use, unfortunately, for me. Now, I don't remember what those pills were. They're probably all disappointments. I'm just going to move on. Now, when you see that champion right there that had the white fly surrounding it, they're really hard to kill, because not only do they have extra hit points, but that fly will block shots. I recommend aiming for that type of champion last, even though it deals more damage than the other guys, just because of how long it takes to kill it. You're better off attacking your weaker foes, and then that way you'll have plenty of space for him. Same thing here. A lot of this is based upon your speed. Sorry, Super Troll Bomb. And speaking of speed, this room's pretty nasty also. I'm going to take advantage of my flight here and just stand on this one rock. If I could control my Brimstone and have it follow me like Azazel normally works, I wouldn't really have to worry about doing this so much, since I could kill my foe before they reach me. But I have less control due to the anti-gravity item, which once again I do not recommend for Azazel, even though it looks cool and gives you a tears up. By the way, I'm saving my Alges rune either for a blood donation machine or for a really nasty boss potentially. By really nasty, I'm referring to one of the endgame bosses. I sometimes will hold on to an Alges rune for the entire game just for that scenario. I probably don't need it since I have so much health thanks to the Dark Bum, but either way, just to be on the safe side. Okay, we got an arcade. So maybe I'll use my Alges rune on it. Now before I do that, I got 2 hearts. I may as well give it a try and just stab myself a few times to see what happens. So I don't know if you just understood what happened there, but the fanny pack, when you get damaged, can drop a pickup. It dropped a bomb in this case. Now the bomb happened to be a troll bomb. So I was able to push it away before it blew up the donation machine. Alright, I'm going to use the Alges rune here. And normally you can shoot the troll bombs away, but Azazel really can't do that since it's got brimstone tears. When you damage yourself with the IV bag, you get rid of a half heart and it gives you some coins. I make sure to pick it up and drop it. That way next blood donation machine I use can never drop that again. Now unfortunately, the more money you have, the more likely greed is going to show up in the shop. I can almost guarantee greed's going to be waiting for me there. Or super greed. But we'll see. If I'm lucky, I'll get a shop and I'll be able to spend all this huge amount of money. By the way, this is normally a great trinket. It increases your shot speed tremendously. That equates to range. Even though shot speed is technically not range, it means it's going to take... the bolt's going to be able to travel further anyway. So it still gives you more range in the end. But shot speed does nothing for Azazel or Brimstone, so it's of no use for me. But normally it's my favorite worm trinket. Not that impressed, but I'll take it. The leech will chase after enemies, and if it manages to kill them, you gain half a heart. There's ways you can exploit him. For example, if you're in a room where there's a bunch of those monsters that respawn, like the red ones that chase you, and then when you destroy them, they turn into a pile of goo, you can exploit them and have the leech continue to attack them and, quote, kill them, and then get half hearts until you are totally full. So this room right here, don't do what I was doing earlier by running straight ahead. You want to bait them, because sometimes if you're unlucky, even with top speed, these guys will hit you. So you just go like this, and then you run. Same thing here. Bait him. Go. Bait him. Nope, I hit the button. Didn't need to bait him. What are you doing? Leech, you having some trouble, buddy? Ooh, what do we have here? We got Virgo. By the way, I forgot to mention, you may be wondering why there's sometimes treasure items in random areas. It's really, really rare, but it happens. And in my case, it's happened twice now, because that's how I got the anti-gravity pills. I keep saying pills. I don't know why. Anti-gravity pills sound kind of fun, but it's not a thing. Anti-gravity tears. Regardless, speaking of pills, Virgo does two things. One, it randomly gives you an immortality shield. And two, it makes negative pills positive. It's not going to reveal pills like the PhD does, but it actually does make them positive. Or at least neutral at the very least. Okay, no greed. That's great. There's even a re-rolling machine, so I could really capitalize on this. Now, if there was a really good pill on the field, I could grab placebo right here and just start using it. And I could use it multiple times by recharging it with the battery. But there really aren't any pills that are worthwhile to do that. So what I'm going to do is, well, I'm going to re-roll. I have a lot of money, but I have a lot of bombs too, so I'm going to continue to re-roll using bombs. Now I do have to watch out though. In fact, I kind of regret doing this now because the scatter bomb could have blown it up again before I had a chance to grab any other item. Now, due to my issues with Brimstone, how it's hard to aim with it, I actually want the red candle. This will allow me to, well, there's a bunch of enemies and I'm missing them. I can force the hit I can forcefully hit them by using the red candle, which will constantly recharge. In fact, as you continue to use it, the red flames, or rather the flames start to add up. So I believe you unlock it by donating to the donation machine a certain number of times. Same thing with the blue candle. Definitely want to get those as soon as possible. it can save a horrible run. And I'm curious what this card is. The Hierophant, great card. Gives you 2 soul hearts, drops them on the floor. Now we're talking. So now all pickups will be doubled. So you get pairs of coins, pairs of keys, pairs of bombs. By the way, if you decide you want to buy a key and you just picked up the Humbling Bundle, walk out of the room, come back. There, now they're doubled. And don't mind if I do. I'll grab the blue map. This item here, I think it's like bongo bombs or something like that. They double your bombs, but I already have the Humbling Bundle, which doubles all pickups, so it'll literally do nothing. There's Placebo again. Came back. The only way you remove it from the item pool is if you grab it. But I don't want to spend 15 coins just to remove it from the item pool. Okay, and that's the end of that. There is a Jar of Flies on sale, which is a pretty good item as well. If the red candle wasn't there, I might consider it. But the red candle will give me a little more control because I'll be able to use it anytime since it recharges all the time. And thanks to the blue map, I know where the secret rooms are now. So I want to show you a trick. There's an Eternal Heart here. Now this specific super secret room, any heart that spawns in the room is going to be an Eternal Heart. Now I know if you spawn red hearts in here, it'll turn into Eternal Heart. I'm not 100% certain about soul hearts though. So let's find out. Okay, so now there's 3. So I can grab one of them, or 2 of them rather. Gain my full heart. Now I'm not going to grab this quite yet, because if I find a donation machine, a blood donation machine or a devil beggar, they will prioritize the Eternal Heart if you have one. So I'm leaving that alone for now. And I'm in pretty good shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check out the secret room, and then I'm most likely going to move on. By the way, a lesser known trick with the red candle, you can use it to destroy shopkeepers. I recommend doing that because it'll increase your devil deal chance if that's your first one destroyed in the room or in the floor. They also have a chance to drop money or even the coupon or the head of the keeper if you're really lucky, or even a Steam sale. There's also a very low chance that the dead shopkeeper you attack will actually resurrect as greed. So if you have like half a heart left and you do that, bear in mind that risk exists. Alright, well, I'm happy. I'm going to go ahead and move on. Forgot what happened to that health down pill that I kept a while ago. Don't remember if I used it or if I forgot about it, but either way, it's gone. This is where the leech comes in handy, especially since I have an issue with accuracy. He'll help take down some of the lesser foes. Now I'm going to have to get a little bit lucky here. I just got to throw down a bunch of brimstone and hope that mom lands on it. Also, I can just shoot it in one spot and hope she lands. She only aims for me, so if I do this long enough, she'll probably just hit it. Yeah, just like that. Now, I don't know if you noticed what just happened a moment ago. I got damaged, and the host hat, which you can't see anymore, I still have it, you just can't see it. It shot tears back at the foe. Those tears were actually Eye of Belial tears, the ones that have piercing. So it turns out the host hat actually capitalized on Eye of Belial. Still not that helpful, but hey, it's a synergy technically. Okay, first thing that I know I want. The goat head. That means I'm guaranteed to get 2 more devil deals, which is helpful due to the fact that I have a crazy assortment of soul hearts. Now, I could also take this. The nail increases your damage in the room. It slows down your speed when you use it. But also it allows you to destroy rocks as you pass by them. But the most important part is when you use this, it gives you a soul heart. It might be overkill with the dark bum. That's why I'm kind of hesitating. Maybe I'm better off keeping the candle, since I already have a large assortment of soul hearts. In fact, especially since I have 2 more devil deals coming up, which will only cost me 1 red heart as opposed to 3 soul hearts. If I take this, I only have 1 heart left. It's a tough decision, but it would be an easy choice if I didn't have this weird brimstone. But the fact is I do. So I'm going to pass on the nail. And thanks to the goat head, the devil room does not shut when you leave it. Okay. If I was having a overpowered run, then I'd probably go for the negative. I know I have full health. This still isn't the safest type of run, though, due to my weird tiers there. So I'm just going to take the Polaroid and move on. Because the chest is an easier place than the dark room, due to the fact that the very first room you go in has 4 golden chests which contain collectibles. Now the boss is usually next to the super secret room. So if I head there, I'll probably find the boss. I could get my bombs back if I use that. Or I could do nothing if I do this. So these buttons, 2 out of 3 times in my opinion, I don't know the exact statistic, but 2 out of 3 times it'll be monsters. Make sure you are prepared for a fight before you hit those buttons. There's some really crazy items you can get. It could literally give you a collectible of some type. But don't expect it. Expect a monster, and if you get something besides a monster, be grateful. That white champion's immortal until all his buddies are destroyed. Makes it pretty tough since he heads right for you. So thank goodness for flight. There's also tinted rock here. You can tell by the X in the bottom right.
Range up.
I'm a little nervous to stay in this square just because I'm so close to that worm right there at the north. Because he could shoot tears at you if you accidentally damage him while he is undeployed. I also forgot that these headless guys shoot tears at you. I managed to dodge them by pure luck. See, without the weird tears with the anti-gravity, I would have cleared this room a long time ago. Once again, do not take them with Azazel. Do not take the anti-gravity, not pills, but tears. I am liking these enemies that walk into my brimstone portal, though. Sure makes it easier. By the way, a random trick I want to tell you about. The red candle. One thing that's really great about it is if you're going for the angel rooms and you're trying to get halves of the Mega Satan key. Before you begin the fight and blow up the angel statue to fight the angel, you can just spawn a ton of flames in the area. Just spin like a minute or two, just dropping flames everywhere. And then once you blow up the angel, he'll walk into all the flames and die immediately. Now these guys, they're a newer enemy, and they're really painful. As you can see, it's just absolute chaos. When all the little creatures die, they shoot tears at you that point directly at you, even at angles. So it's really deadly. By the way, you may be wondering, why is there a shop to the south? It's not a shop. Shops do not spawn in the womb and beyond, with few exceptions. So what this actually is a library. Normally, I would have to take damage every single time I grab a book. Obviously not an issue right now, since I have flight. Make sure you pick up 3 books at least. That way, you transform into the bookworm transformation, which makes you sometimes shoot 2 tears instead of 1. That means I'll get 2 brimstone beans occasionally. Beams, not beans. Book of Secrets will reveal things in the map. It's a random assortment of things it might reveal. Telepathy for Dummies gives you homing tears, but I don't think it'll have any effect with mini brimstone. Book of the Dead resurrects corpses, turns them into bones. As you can see, it did nothing here because there's no corpses. And lastly, the Satanic Bible, which I'm having second thoughts on taking, since I'm kind of lower on hearts than I anticipated. There it is. That's what I was looking for. I saw the hearts on the map. By the way, if you're desperate, you can blow up these funky looking rocks. Sometimes they contain hearts. And in my scenario, if I wanted to harvest them, I could have the Dark Bump take them and convert them into soul hearts for me. I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to actually hold on to the Book of the Satanic Bible here. I won't get to aim as much, but I don't really use the red flame much anyway, I noticed. So I'm just going to play it safe and take it. Maybe overkill, but hey, that means I live, right? Yeah, imagine doing this room without flight. You would just get destroyed. There's hardly any room to move around, and all of the big guys break off into little guys which shoot tears directly at you when they're dead. There's obviously a lot of skill involved in this game, but there are some rooms where you're just going to get hit, unfortunately. I have a lot of money, obviously, but the only thing I can really capitalize by using that donation machine is either trinkets or maybe cards. So I'm already practically full on soul hearts here. So I'm not really going to waste the time at the moment, because I'm confident enough that I won't have to spend 2 or 3 minutes on it. Especially when I might not get anything helpful. Teratoma. Difficult boss to deal with due to all the crazy amount of spiders that spawn everywhere when you destroy it. But when you have something like mini brimstone or brimstone, it's a whole different ball game. It's a lot easier, that's for sure. Now, I choose to grab Little Steven second because maybe there's some familiars in the Devil Room. Little Steven has homing tears, so it's not as important to aim with him, so I prefer him to be in the back versus the front. Okay, so death's list right there. It would be a little bit more helpful if I could control a little bit better on who I destroy. But the way that works is if you kill the enemies in a specific order, depending on where the skull pops up, then you'll get a random stat boost or a random item in each room. That's helpful if you have control, but due to my weird brimstone, I don't really have control on who I kill first very easily. So I'm going to pass on it. But I will, however, take the ceremonial robes. Gives me a nice damage boost. Gives me 3 dark hearts. Be more helpful if I actually had some empty heart containers. Or had like an empty slot here, but I'm already full on hearts. So that's it. I'm moving on. Same thing, gonna head straight for the super secret room, which likely is where the boss is. All these range ups are pretty nice just because of how difficult it is to aim with this. So it's dangerous using mystery pills when you're either on the depths 2 or the womb 2 / utero 2. And the reason why is, I say this every game and it's never happened yet, but either way, when you use a mystery pill, there's a chance it might be a teleport pill. There's a small chance, very small, but it's there, that when you use a teleport pill, it's going to teleport you instead to the I am error room. That room will usually contain some nice loot, but then it forces you to go to the next level. If you do that, you might not teleport, you might not be able to go to the same level as the item that you picked up. By item, I'm referring to the Polaroid or the negative. The negative means that you can move on to the dark room. The Polaroid means you can move on to the chest. So let's say, for example, I grab the Polaroid, which is what I did. If I teleport to the I am error room, in there might be the path to Shale, and that's it, which means I don't get to go to the chest. Because if I grab the wrong item, like if I take the Polaroid and go to Shale, or the negative, and I go to the cathedral, I'm not going to be able to advance past that point. That'll be the last level. I won't get to finish my run. Now, for some people, that might not be a bad thing, but I like to complete my run. I don't like ending it prematurely. Therefore, I will not use a mystery pill on the Depths 2 or the Womb 2. Yeah, that mini boss there, the champion variant, will always drop a soul heart, so it's really nice. But as you can see, I really don't need it at the moment. Right, I keep forgetting I am immortal to bombs. I don't see the host hat anymore, so it makes me slightly nervous. But it's irrelevant since I know it's there. Actually, if you're ever not sure, pause, open your items. You can see it right there below the fanny pack and above the dark bum. Yeah, that little section on the right side, it shows a bunch of the items, just not all of them, unfortunately. Then again, if all the items are shown, if you had a run where things were chaotic and you were breaking the game and had tons of items, then it would probably swamp the entire screen. Not that helpful. Bercano just spawns a bunch of flies and spiders, but it definitely wasn't worth the hit. Not that it matters to me too much, due to the fact that there's a soul heart in the field, and I have a pretty good assortment of hearts here. I still don't want to spawn a Shadow Judas, just because I'll lose my flight. And even with this Brimstone being a little bit weirder, it's still obviously very powerful. Well, that was nasty. It just spawned a mimic on my face. I can expect random troll bombs, but I certainly did not expect that. So this room, I almost always get hit if I don't have flight. Because as you're attacking one side, the other ones catch up on you, and there's a lot of gaps everywhere. So as you destroy the enemies, you have to move as you're doing it. That way you don't get hit by their exploding tears. And as I suspected, the super secret room is next to the boss. Not every time, but most of the time. I got a lot of money. Let's see what you're going to give me. The box. No, you don't. So let me explain this. The silver dollar, this is what I was referring to by the exception to shops being in the womb. When you have the silver dollar, the shop will appear in the womb level 1, the womb level 2. When I refer to the womb, I'm also referring to utero or I think it's like the sacred womb or something like that, or the scarred womb. Regardless, it'll spawn shops in there, which is great. However, this is the last womb level, and the trinket only applies on the next floor, not the floor you grab it on. It's not going to just spawn shops suddenly. Therefore, it is useless for me. I will save this Wheel of Fortune in case I have a bad time. Now this will be a much easier fight, just due to the fact that she won't move around. I mean, she'll become immortal like she is right now, but once she holds still, the brimstone's always going to hit her. Always expect that death explosion right there. It's always going to happen. Some people forget about it. I know when I was first playing this game, I forgot about it a lot, and I would die to it. Now this is a fantastic item for me. My complaint has been accuracy. This will cause a black ring to spawn. I could run into my foes, and the black ring is going to destroy them. The more damage you deal, the more damage the black ring does. So that'll be great. That'll help offset this pain I've had. But then again, I'm being a little over dramatic because I have the Dark Bum and the Satanic Bible. They've been sustaining me this run. This would be a very different run if I didn't have those items. Now that I have no heart containers, the boss arena opens up, because it opens up as long as you have one heart container or less. Let's see what's inside. If I'm lucky, I'll get Cricket's head or Steven. Yeah, you see the power of the Maw there, or Maw of the Void? Very strong, and when it kills enemies, there's a chance it'll drop a Dark Heart. So now I have 3 major sources of hearts here. So I'm in a very good position right now. Alright, so I took the Polaroid. Therefore, I'm going to head for the Cathedral, which will take me to the chest. You have to play the game and beat it a certain number of times before you even have a chance to go to Shale or the chest. Yeah, the ghosts are very hard to deal with. Whenever they spawn in, you have to move because they're going to be aiming for you right away. Stone chests have the same loot pool as the golden chests, to my knowledge. So I could get Cricket's head or Steven, so therefore I'm going to blow them up and see what happens. So that trinket right there, what that does is increases your angel room chance, if you have that chance. 2 issues with that. Issue number 1, I took a devil deal, taken several actually, therefore angel rooms will not spawn. And 2, once you're beyond the womb, devil rooms and angel rooms will no longer spawn. The only way I can get in is if you have something like the Joker card. The levers normally would not be helpful because I have no heart containers, but pretty darn helpful when you have Dark Bum. I'm going to save those on the field for later, just in case I need them, since I have the Satanic Bible to give me some extra hearts. Yeah, the Haunt stays immortal until he destroys little buddies. Oh no! Look at that, another library. Not helpful for me anymore since I got, in my opinion, one of the best books. But we'll check it out anyway. It doesn't always have books, it usually does, but it might have runes as well. So it's definitely worth it to check it out. So this is the Book of Revelations. It's like the Satanic Bible. The difference, though, is it gives you soul hearts instead of dark hearts. But it also increases your devil deal chance, assuming you have that chance. Same thing with angel rooms. If you have an angel room chance, that's going to be increased as well. And the Necronomicon, it's like the death card, same effect, damages all enemies in the room when you use it. It's 6 charges. And the Mysterious Candy makes you poop every so often, you drop a turd on the floor, and it's pretty useless. The ghosts are time-consuming even for a character like mine who's pretty strong. But imagine if you have a weak attack damage. It just takes forever. The ghosts they're really hard to deal with, and they're one of the beefiest enemies in the game, ironically enough. So just like I said at the very beginning of the game, where you want to have your brimstone ready to go when you walk in the next room and have it charged up, have Maw of the Void charged up as well. That way you can deal as much damage as possible right when you walk in. Here we are, the prophecy's fulfilled once again. The super secret room is next to the boss. Maybe not directly next to it, but close enough. Alright, let's take out Isaac. Thanks to the Polaroid, I'm able to be a little bit reckless there, run right into him. The Polaroid will only activate if you have half a heart or less. In my case, I have 0 hearts, therefore it triggers when I get damaged, and therefore I'm immortal for a few seconds. I mentioned earlier I also have Virgo. That'll randomly make me immortal too. But it really hasn't triggered much of at all, to my knowledge. So there's the portal to Delirium. It's tempting, but it's way too hard to aim with the anti-gravity brimstone. Delirium bounces around like nobody's business. I'm not going to do it. It's too risky. Here we are. First thing I want to mention, Cursed Eye does not stack with Brimstone. Therefore, it'll do nothing if I take it. I'm going to leave it there in case I have a chance to re-roll it. Little Brimstone, awesome. Choose a little Brimstone there. Now the Mini Mush. Something about it, it gives you a speed up. It also says range up. It's lying. It's actually a range down. It's bad for Azazel due to the fact that he has short range. The D Infinity, it'll be a different dice, or die rather, every single time that you use it. Now I don't want to re-roll this because if I do, I'm going to lose the Satanic Bible, which is a source of health. Now last thing I want to mention, if you happen to have a Wheel of Fortune card like I do, you spawn it. I could spend all my money on it, but instead of spending the time to get some pretty flies which will help defend me, I know I'm still going to win, so I'm just going to move on. But let me show you the trick now. it will give you a collectible. You destroy it while you're in the chest or the dark room. Now, I don't want to use the D-Infinity. I know I keep complaining about the fact that I have the anti-gravity tiers, but there are some lethal combinations of rerolls out there. And although it's obscenely rare that's going to happen, it can happen. And since I'm sitting pretty, I don't want to take that unnecessary risk. And thanks to Maw of the Void, it's making it much easier to destroy my foes. Smart Fly is a orbital, so it defends from bullets. If you do get damaged though, it flies away and starts attacking your enemies. Hence the revenge. Maggie's Bow, it makes a single heart count for 2. I have the Humbling Bundle, therefore the double hearts will count for 4. It also gives you an HP up, but you can't see that due to Curse of the Unknown. Now it actually would be better if I ignored that, because now the Polaroid is not going to activate due to the fact that I have 1 heart container. So that was a mistake, but I'm in a situation where I can afford mistakes. The Scapular. So it's kind of a weird item, but if you end up having a half heart or less, like you get damaged to that point, then it's going to spawn a soul heart. And it gives it to you immediately. If you have a lot of hearts on the field, you can exploit it with a blood donation machine and keep getting an extra stab over and over again. This is a Mimic. I don't remember if it hurts me or not on this floor. It does, okay. Well, either way, get the black hole. It's pretty fun. I'll just show you in the next room, but it's not very effective against bosses, unfortunately. Although now the Honda is stuck. That's pretty funny. Now, my mistake at the beginning is I didn't go for the Super Secret Room. It's on the far right side. I probably didn't acknowledge it due to the fact that it's all the way over there where my items are. I didn't even see it earlier. This is a way you can kind of shortcut your way to the finish line. Now, if you have a lot of bombs, you can also blow up doors in front of you to move on. But you can't do that in the dark room in the chest. So I'll drop a bomb right on the door, and it didn't open. Same thing with the dark room, you can't do that there. Now the most lethal room in this game, in my opinion, is the double adversary room. The reason why they're so deadly... Oh hey, there's the curved horn, I've been looking for you. Either way, the reason why they're so deadly is the fact that it's so hard to dodge one, let alone two. And sometimes they're harder than the actual final bosses. I wouldn't say it's harder than Delirium, but certainly it is sometimes harder than things like Isaac, Satan, or the Blue Baby, or even the Lamb. I recommend that before you go to the chest or the dark room, try to hang on to a really good card if you can. I like to save it for Blue Baby or the Lamb, but sometimes I need to use it for the double adversary room. Yeah, as the Mega Fatties are spraying all their gross slime or whatever the heck you want to call it, just make sure you keep moving. If you hold still, you will get hit by it. Okay, now the question is, where is the boss? Fortunately, like I said, not every time will the boss be next to the secret room, or the super secret room rather. There we go. So there's all these super bosses here. Now the last one you kill will likely drop its item. So if you wanted, let's say for example, I want the lard. So I'm going to destroy Super Wrath here. And then I'm going to kill Super Gluttony. No lard, but you see how he dropped those red hearts? That's a way you can force them to pay out what you want. Okay, I know I'm full on health due to the fact that I can push these soul hearts around. So let's go ahead and finish the boss and end this. So with Azazel, in fact with any character really, the best strategy in my opinion is to circle around. But you gotta watch out for the homing tiers. Those are the deadliest. Alright, no portal to the void, so I'm not even tempted. And that's it. That's the end of my run. I was kind of slugging through it, but either way, eventually I came to the point where everything was fine, and even with my limitation, Azazel's still super powerful, as long as you know what you're doing. Thank you so much for watching this series. Hopefully you've had a chance to look at some of the other episodes as well. If you learned something new, in this case, don't take anti-gravity with Azazel, please like the video, and please subscribe if you like some more content. Thank you so much for watching.